Are you taking your loved one for granted? How a little gratitude can go a long way in your relationship. Keep It Local starts right now.
Yeah, fancy. Just have fun.
It looks like fun. Yeah,
yes.
I like to bowl. Okay, so I also like this time of the week because Julie Jeske is in the house, our relationship expert. And before we get to this week's topic, you gave us homework last week.
Yes.
It was about our in-laws, and I don't remember exactly what the homework. No, I'm sitting here thinking about it. What was it? Just to
It was if you are
along.
yes, yeah, to do one small thing to extend the olive branch.
Yes,
the olive branch.
Yes, in whatever way that is. Whether if you're the parent, to be maybe a little less critical, to offer some assistance, and if you are the one who's married to the child of the parent, then to invite them over, involve them in your life in some way.
Okay, I called my mother-in-law, so that's the thing, but I like my mother-in-law, so yeah.
Although you did your homework, I guess.
Sure. My husband's aunt.
The first time.
Well, my husband's aunt lectured me for telling a story about my mother-in-law on the air.
And she's probably going to lecture you now for calling her out on air.
It was a funny story, but yes. Okay, so this week's topic is one that I can appreciate because it's about taking your partner for granted. Because I know that my husband cooks all the time, and I think I've just kind of...
Sometimes you just start to expect those things.
I do.
Yeah, and it's not that you're critiquing them about something, or you're lecturing them about something, or you're not liking something they do, but you just really don't appreciate it as much as you did when they first started doing it.
Okay.
So it's just a little reminder to appreciate those things and not get stuck in that rut. Yes.
And so we're going to talk about how to do that, and maybe
how to know if you're taking them for granted,
if you're doing it,
and then what you can do. And we have homework this week too, just for you.
And I'll remember it this time, maybe. Okay, so Jules, we're going to see you in just a little bit, but coming up now.
All right, it's Wednesday, and today we're talking about how not to take your significant other for granted. Because sometimes we do. We don't mean to, we just do.
Yes,
we don't say thank you, or we say it mentally and we don't verbally say it. That's my problem.
Is that your problem?
One of them, yes. Julie Jeske, our relationship coach, is here to tell us what to do.
How do we know first if we're doing this?
So if you are kind of have a running tally of the things that aren't going, your partner isn't doing well, rather than the things that they are doing well, then that's probably a sign, right? If you're paying attention to all the things that aren't happening, and you've kind of got like a little scorecard in your head of all the things that aren't happening, and you're just kind of poo-pooing all of the things that are happening, you're probably not being very grateful.
I hope my husband's not watching.
Why is that happening here?
Because, that's right on. Okay.
And it's not even about being mean or, but it's just, you just kind of stop paying attention to all of the good things that are happening, because in the beginning they were fantastic, you really noticed them, and then you just started to expect them.
So, like, good example, like I was saying, my husband cooks every night, and he cooks really amazing things. He does, I mean, he actually gets into it. I just expect it. And I don't know that I ever say thank you afterwards for,
I have homework for you this week.
So is that, I mean, that's a good example.
That's a great example. Just because you take the trash out every week doesn't mean it's not nice to hear a thank you about it. Just because it's your job to cook dinner every night doesn't mean it wouldn't be wonderful to hear thank you.
So what can we do about it? Say thank you, obviously.
Thank you. Or I really appreciate that you do this. Or you know what? As we're eating in this fantastic meal, I'm just so grateful that you cook for me every day, and I really appreciate it. Is there anything I could do for you to make you feel as good as I feel right now?
But then, but then, like, and I'm sure a lot of people have this, so I do the dishes and I clean up. I don't get thanked. And I'm okay with it.
He expects it.
He expects it too. And you're okay, and he's probably okay with cooking, but I would imagine if you got a thank you, it'd feel really nice. Okay, and so it's when we're doing, there are a few things that it's like, okay, it's okay if I don't get thanked for that. But if I'm doing all these things because it's expected of me and I'm not getting any positive feedback, imagine if you worked a job and you never had any reviews, you never had any positive feedback from your boss, it'd start to feel pretty negative. Same thing in your relationship. It's nice to get that feedback. It's nice to give that feedback.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So don't let your expectations get in the way. You may expect it. You can expect it and still say thank you.
Now, what if your partner messes up in the course of that? I mean, do you still have to be all grateful and
like messes up how?
Well,
what if you have a fight maybe and you're angry and do you still need to thank him for things?
For the fight? Thank you for the fight. know, those can be two separate things. You can be mad at somebody and still be grateful at the same time. You don't have to just let go of the negative thing just to allow the thank you. Both things can be true. You can say, gosh, you know, I was really hoping you'd take out the trash today, and I really do appreciate that you made me dinner. What can we do to make the trash happen next week?
And I know you suggested keeping a journal of these things. I think you call it a gratitude journal.
This is the homework.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Wow,
I'm getting ahead of myself.
You're just like uber ready for homework this week. Yes.
So what am I putting in this journal? Just so he did this. Great.
I would say every night, so you do a journal together, okay?
Oh, okay.
And so every night, each of you write 5 things you're grateful for about the other person.
Oh.
So thank you so much for doing this today. I love watching you as a mother. It makes me happy, right? Just whatever. It doesn't have to be, I'm so grateful for. It doesn't have to be very mechanical like that.
Right.
It can be, I'm really grateful.
It can be on a Post-it.
Yeah, he would write, I'm so grateful that you clean up the poopy diapers. That's what he would
That works.
And he probably is.
He's very grateful, yes. Okay.
Yeah. So getting it on paper can really let us feel that and feel good about it.
So tease, what are we doing next week then?
So next Wednesday, we're talking about acceptance versus change. Because a lot of people I talk to want to change their partner. It's really hard to change a person. It's a lot easier to learn to accept them.
That's a tough one, though. That's
well, but it's very true, and we'll talk more next week. Yeah. Okay, thanks, Jules. And it's at juliejeske.com if people want more advice or know how to find you.
Absolutely.
Always good advice.
Yeah.
Always. All right.